Hello there and welcome to the closing event of the project, From Oriel to Brexit. From Oriel to Brexit was an EU peace-funded project, cross-border, cross-community, where we used the arts, theatre, music, creative writing and photography to bring people together and reflect on the past. We had hoped when we set out on the project that we would be closing it with live performances and concerts, but unfortunately a pandemic put an end to that. However, due to the ingenuity and commitment of all involved, we were nevertheless able to successfully complete the project. But first, let's look back to August 2019 and the launch of From Oriel to Brexit in the Oriel Centre, former prison in Dundalk, County Louth. Well, we're here in the Oriel Centre today, which is a former prison in Dundalk, to launch the new project. It's a multimedia project, cross-border, cross-community, funded by the EU Peace Programme. The title is From Oriel to Brexit, and Oriel is a geographical area here, which takes in East Monaghan, South Armagh, North Louth. The area is very rich in music, folklore, history, and it ties in well with the title of our project, as I say, From Oriel to Brexit, because now we're facing into Brexit. People in this area on the border know the history, the impact of the conflict that was going on for years. There's a lot of fears that we're maybe heading in that direction again. But then also young people who, particularly in the northern side, are wondering now what is the impact of Brexit going to be on them in terms of travel and university and study abroad. So a lot of new issues. And basically what we're using is theatre, a Boys Theatre Company. I'll be working with them to do workshops and then create a play based on themes that arise out of those workshops and issues. There'll be music. Zoe Conway and John McIntyre, who are very famous here in the south and internationally. We'll be working with primary school children in the Cooley Peninsula.
And my role, I'm going to be visiting different schools in the area and working with the children from the schools. I'm going to be teaching them traditional tunes from the area and from further afield as well, just to get them used to Irish traditional music, how it sounds, how the songs are, maybe what the rhyme is within the songs and how the pieces are structured. And then we might work on trying to compose pieces together in a kind of a workshop environment. Where myself and John McIntyre, who's a guitar player, we'd be the lead facilitators, and we'd be working with different instruments, whatever instruments the children might have, or maybe they'll have none and they might just be able to sing or play a drum or something, you know, and we'll work together on music, and that's part of what will form the final concert as part of the project.
In the northern side, in Mullabon, Liam O'Sullivan, who runs the Traditional Arts Partnership, will be working with Kenny Qua from Market Hill, again to work with young people, again exploring the music of the region and also devising new music themselves, and they'll stage concerts at the end of it.
So my name's Elaine O'Sullivan. I'm musical director with Traditional Arts Partnership based in South Armagh. I'm also primary school teacher in St Patrick's Primary School in Crossmaglen, and I'm really looking forward to researching the Donlan collection, the music from this area, Oriel. Looking forward to working in the project From Oriel to Brexit, and working alongside my colleague Kenny Qua in Market Hill. We're already working together, so it's going to give us the opportunity to really get into the tunes and get into the material in the area, and to be able to pass it on to the children and to encourage the children then to be performing. So we're really looking forward to it.
So my name is Kenny Qua, and I am a teacher in Market Hill Primary School. I'm in charge of shared education there, which has given me the opportunity to organise learning and education events with our partner school, which is St Patrick's Primary School in Crossmaglen, where Elaine O'Sullivan and myself, we've been working together with bands and teaching tunes to to children. So this is actually the first time I've been down to this particular venue. But again, it's just another feature of cross-community partnerships. It opens up doors to places that maybe folks from my community haven't been familiar with, even though they're just they're down the road. I'm really looking forward to working with Elaine again. Looking forward to learning more about the collection of tunes, learning them myself, and getting a chance to put on workshops and sharing these tunes with Market Hill children. We have a rich collection of musical traditions in Market Hill, mostly tied in with the marching tradition. But it's just lovely to have a new blast of music that we're able to share with our friends from across Midland, and through sharing those tunes, to build friendships and just enjoy each other's company.
So basically, what we're going to do is we are going to put on workshops for children from South Armagh area, from Market Hill and from Crossmaglen, primary school age and maybe a little bit older. And we're going to teach them the music from the Donlan collection, and we're going to arrange the music, and we're hoping to put it together as a performance in Market Hill and in Crossmaglen, and then hopefully maybe in Newtown Hamilton, in a neutral venue, and open it then to the community.
And I'll also be taking a creative writing class, which combines photography, so it's a women's only group, and we work first to write poetry or prose. Again, it'll be a bit of a theme on borders, but not necessarily geographical. They can be, but also borders in the mind and whatever else. And then From Oriel, who is a visual ethnographer, will come in and work with me and with the participants to do about capturing images that reflect what it is they've been writing about in the poetry and prose. And out of that will come a published book and film readings with the people.
Well, this space is just incredible. I have actually played here before in the jail in Dundalk, and it's really beautiful. It's very atmospheric, and actually the acoustics are beautiful for playing. And I think audiences always really enjoy it. It's very unique.
The Oriel and Brexit project is the third project which Diversity Challenges has done in County Louth, looking at the history of the impact of the conflict and looking, in this case, forward to the potential impact of Brexit. It's been part of Diversity Challenges' work to collect oral histories and to use those oral histories as a means of trying to understand the impact of conflict. We've done that here. We've also done it across Northern Ireland and in the Republic, where we did the stories of former RUC and former guards in the project Green and Blue, which has been transformed into a play which Lawrence wrote the script for and is performed by Kibosh. And it's part of Diversity Challenges aimed to create reconciliation by examining our past and looking at some of the difficult issues that have faced us.
The whole project is just kicking off now, and it will run until the 31st of August 2020. And yeah, I think it's an exciting time now. Everybody's on board with it. We're ready to go, and we'll be advertising for participants next month. And this is a great venue to be kicking off from. I love it when prisons are developed into cultural centres. Of course, the project didn't end in August 2020 as was expected. Because of COVID, it was suspended for 7 months. However, before that suspension, we were able to get up and running with a lot of workshops, and particularly those to do with the creative writing and photography. Completed 6 weeks, 6 workshops of creative writing with a group of over 20 women. And what we do now for the next 3 workshops is photography. And we have a tutor, From Oriel, who I worked with before and done similar type projects. And the idea is that people who have been writing about identity and home and place and various other themes and emotions over the last 6 weeks are now getting some training on how to take photographs which will in some way represent those writings or add to those writings. So it's using another art form to say something similar that they've said in the text. And a lot of simple lessons today are very important lessons just about how to use the camera. You know, this digital age, we just pull it out, we just snap away. You know what the Zoe's trying to tell people is how to probably stop for a minute and pause and think about the relationship you have with the subject of this photograph, or maybe an object. Different ways to take a photograph. Maybe take it from above, gives it a totally different image than what people are taking from below or the side, or etc. Very simple exercises, but which really transform photographs whenever you go and do them. The idea is that at the end, people will go off after the day and take photographs based on a lot of the writings that they've done, and come back to the next workshop and we'll look at them, go through them, and again make suggestions. What they'll end up finally with is a book of text with their poetry and prose and photographs alongside it.
My name is Nessa and I live here in Dundalk. The previous classes were really interesting and something new for me because I've never done something like that before, and it was challenging as well, but also I really liked them. Well, I'm looking forward obviously to see the final product of the book, but as well for me it was as well like a personal challenge, so I want to see myself getting better at writing and sharing as well. Yeah, I think the classes gave me way more confidence because I used to never actually share my writings, so that was my favorite part, I guess, to actually be around people in a group and share and listen to others as well.
The course has definitely given me focus to be creative and space to do that, and it's made me realise the importance of setting time aside for myself and my own interests. And the photography element was a wee bit challenging, but exciting though, because I never considered myself able to take like a good photo, so Zoe's workshops are very insightful and useful in helping me produce, you know, a piece, an image to go with the pieces. So photography is definitely another element that I would like to pursue. I just want to finish by saying a special thanks to Lawrence and Zoe for their guidance and encouragement. I wish there were more courses like this. And to top it off, the fact that there's a book produced at the end with our images and our writing in it to complement a lovely experience is just very special and a lovely memory to take away and be proud of. So I would definitely recommend this course to others, and I'd definitely be interested in signing up for something similar again.
Yeah, I heard about it and I said that's great because I want to get back writing again. I'm an artist and I like to write about my work, and I just thought if I did the course it would stir up the need to, or the want to write again, and it has done that for me. I have found the course and it's nicely paced over the weeks, so it builds up the momentum. So strangely for me, I hadn't a problem driving over from Carrick Cross to do it midweek. Zoe was great on the course. She had a beautiful soft pace and really nice easy way of delivery. There wasn't any technical language. It was phrased in a way that we wanted to understand it and frame it to suit our writing, you know, so it wasn't a photography technically heavy course.
So I've worked with participatory photography for probably nearly 2 decades now. So participatory photography is working with people to use the camera as a tool to express their opinions, their perspectives on the world. So when we work in participatory photography, each person has a camera that they use, and they are using it to express themselves in different ways, and then we use those photographs as tools for discussion. I think it's an important, I've found, I think from the years of doing these projects, that I think if you're taking photographs and using them to discuss, particularly around difficult issues, which I've done a lot of work on with groups that may be discussing very complex issues, I think you have to be aware how people read images at the same time. So I do the two in tandem now, that we always work on a part around reading images to see how everybody brings their cultural background, their educational background, their experience to a photograph, to an image, and they see from their own perspective. And I think it's a really important learning experience for everyone to understand that, and that particularly whenever you put an image into the public realm, the different readings you will have of that. I think it's been a wonderful group, really. They engaged immediately with it. They've been working together, I think, with Lawrence for a few weeks before I arrived. So they've had a chance to be discussing the topics they've been working with together before I arrived. But they engaged so fast in the work we were doing on photography. So it's been a pleasure to work with them.
I'm always amazed at the quality and quantity of work that people can produce over just a few workshops. It's as if, once given the opportunity to write, encouraged to do so, and where a safe space has been created for them, then the creativity flows. The collection of writings that emerged out of the workshops was titled In My Own Right, the title coming from one of Angie's poems written during the workshops, and a number of the participants were then filmed in the studios of Ulster University, where they read from some of their works. And this is a brief look at the content of that.
With strings attached. The bent wood of the dismantled half a guitar case swings gently with the flow of cold air through the building that once was a music shop.
Home. Memories, both good and bad, fill my heart with joy each time. Being away makes me appreciate everything even more. Home means more than a place to go back to meet people, those who don't discourage me from going for my own individual goals.
Boundaries. It's hard to deny that there is so much sadness and unhappiness all around us these days. Life has become so serious. I've pondered long and hard about this, and I've come to the conclusion that we are all afraid to laugh nowadays.
Borders and boundaries. I always knew, and yet didn't know, I was going somewhere, that I had somewhere to go. The feeling in my gut, while very young, was strong. At 10 I knew you were near. So near it turned out.
My new journey is an old journey. I leave between 10 past and half past, and I'm still in on time. It's hard to believe that this time 2 years ago I would need to get through the city traffic and be in to work by 10 past. And the door would get a knock before I even got my coat off.
Barna Grana. Underneath the dull, dark threatening skies. The early morning winds gently coax the lush emerald green grass into a gentle sway.
The keeper of all that is great. I thought she was a friend, but she was way more than that. What is it they say? You can pick your friends, but not your relations. Kindred spirits will often converge, finding their way together. We are an unlikely pair, she and I, a generation apart, with the same maiden name, but no relation.
Nana on the bike. My grandmother cooked every meal from scratch and grew blackberries and gooseberries for her jams and tarts. Entering her small farmhouse enlivened our senses with the smell of freshly baked bread, cooling, wrapped in a tea towel.
As is often the case with projects, once they're up and running, there are some unexpected spin-offs, and that was particularly so for Elaine and Kenny, teaching the music workshops in South Armagh when they got together with another organisation called Beyond Skin.
We're here tonight as part of the Oriel to Brexit project. We have children from Market Hill, Crossmaglen, Mullaban, Drummondty, Newry. We have invited Beyond Skin tonight. They have worked with us before. They're an organisation from Belfast that bring artists into the community to work with kids and young people from different communities. And the whole focus tonight is we've invited obviously the children that we've been working with from the primary schools, but we've invited in the older children that have in previous years worked together. So it's kind of a link up, and we're hoping that these artists that are here tonight will be doing rap and Arabic and also Scots and Irish traditions, and we're going to fuse it all together. We really don't know what to expect, but based on having worked with this crowd before, we know that there's going to be some exciting stuff. So we're giving the kids that are involved in our project the chance to experience something a wee bit different tonight. So we're looking forward to it.
Probably in a nutshell, we're an organisation using the arts for diversity and global education to address things like racism, sectarianism. So there's peace building at the core of what we do. We work with the diversity of musicians here in Northern Ireland, and also with partnerships abroad. We're here in Armagh tonight with some of our musicians working with Beyond Skin, Raphael Frank, Hadjar, Claire Louise and Leo, and working with some of the young people and adults here, looking at the kind of traditional music fused with like hip hop and Arabic and a bit of Spanish, and see what's in the mix. So we kind of say music is the dialogue, and that's what we're hearing tonight, is just musicians getting together, having a bit of jam, see what works, what doesn't, and having that conversation through music. So Beyond Skin, we've been going for 16 years, yeah, and not only do we do work in here in Northern Ireland, we've collaborative work in Japan, Sri Lanka, Israel, Palestine, Colombia, Afghanistan, did I say Sri Lanka? I said Sri Lanka twice. And Philadelphia in the USA. So actually, one of our artists from Colombia, Genesis, was here before Christmas. And that kind of sparked a whole interest in what we were doing. So thanks to Genesis, who lives in Colombia, we're now here doing like a follow-up, and probably the first of many sessions with the amazing talent that you can hear behind me here. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that fusion works and what comes out of it. And I think the most important thing again is music is the dialogue, and it's just that relationships in the heart of it is just getting people together and having a bit of fun as well. I think the arts regarding kind of education and also addressing a lot of our social issues and divides You know, it's so accessible, you know, and it's not about people playing an instrument or having that ability. I mean, we're all creative beings. It's about using the arts to bring people together in a very organic way, that people can kind of meet somebody from a different culture, learn about something and create something. That could be a bit of art, it could be a bit of graffiti art, it could be visual, music, dance, but using the arts as creative beings in our DNA to kind of learn a bit about each other and address the issues out there. So it's the least funded, but probably actually the most successful tool, and it's proven, especially music, of uniting people and bringing people together.
The pandemic kicked in and the project was put on hold from the 1st of April until November 2020. And when we did start back, I thought by way of almost a challenge to COVID, I designed face masks that had written on them in my own right. I gave them to the participants and asked them to photograph themselves wearing these. And then I posted them online to Facebook and other places, not explaining what exactly In My Own Right was about, and it created quite a amount of interest and curiosity, which was there then before we actually published the book.
I was so delighted to receive my copy of In My Own Right in the post after a long COVID-related delay. Reading through the book really brought me back to the pleasure of being involved in a project like this, where the participants had a chance to express their creativity in an environment that was warm, supportive and fun. By the time I arrived into the project, the group had already been working together for several weeks with Lawrence. I arrived to a group of people who were so enthusiastic about what they were doing. They were used to listening to and supporting each other, and they had already begun to produce an amazing wealth of creative material. It was a joy to work with them in the short time that we had together, finding ways to think visually and to create photographs connected to or inspired by their writing. And although it only shows a small part of what came out of the time together, this beautifully produced book reflects the time, work, energy and talent of every person involved in creating it. I'm really delighted to have been a part of this project.
Hi, my name's Gabrielle Williams and I'm the Minister for Women, the Minister for the Prevention of Family Violence and the Minister for Aboriginal Affairs in the state of Victoria, Australia. I don't expect you'll know who I am, but I certainly feel like I know you, particularly after reading your work and this incredible compilation In My Own Right, which of course results from the Peace Corps funded project From Oriel to Brexit, which I know you've all been intimately involved in. I just wanted to say congratulations and commend you for this work and to highlight how important these accounts are. We know that women's voices, women's stories, women's experiences, our perspectives are too often excluded, and it's wonderful to see that your perspectives, your experiences captured in such a beautiful volume that hopefully will be drawn on for many years to come. So congratulations, I commend you on your work. I commend Lawrence McEwen, one of those rare breed of men who understands that women's voices need to be elevated, and I hope to see more from each of you in the years ahead, and I hope this has unlocked a love of creativity and some passion for some creative pursuits that you may not have embarked upon before now. So thank you for putting your voices on record, and I look forward to sharing these with as many people as I can here in Australia. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Keelan Murphy O'Hanlon and I had the pleasure of taking part in Lawrence McEwen's creative writing course. It was just such a joy to be part of this project. Lawrence was able to provide a very safe space to explore our feelings and emotions, and he was able to facilitate just a lot of trust that we could read out our writing to each other, that we could express ourselves without fear of judgment. There was no right, there was no wrong, there was just our words, and he had a really brilliant way of pulling those emotions and feelings and words out of us that we didn't even know we had, and encouraging us to really express ourselves in a very professional way, and I think you can find that the end product was just so beautiful. We have a book called In My Own Right, beautiful publication, and we also got a chance to be filmed up in Belfast in the college, and that was such an enlightening experience as well, to get to read our work in such a professional environment. And then Zoe O'Reilly was also involved in the course, and she facilitated the photography aspect, which was also wonderful because she taught us how an image one single image can convey so much depth, and it made us think in a different way. And I think you'll all agree that the end result was just phenomenal in the book. I was so privileged to be part of such a great group of people, and we met as strangers on our first week, but we left as firm friends and knowing so much more about each other. And it was just a really enriching experience, and I'd really encourage anybody who's thinking of doing a bit of writing or knows that they have something inside that they want to express. You couldn't be in better hands. It's such a lovely course, and I hope you get to take part in something like this. Thank you. Thank you to Lawrence, and thank you to Zoe. It's been an absolute pleasure.
The book In My Own Right is now available online at issue.com, and there will be details in the credits of this film of how to get it. The book will also be made available to local libraries once COVID restrictions are eased. The filmed readings are also available on YouTube, and again, details of that are in the credits of this film. The music workshops were ones that were particularly badly hit because even when restrictions did ease, pupils were still not back at school, and it wasn't until this year, 2021, that really the tutors were able to get up and running with lessons via Zoom. But again, thanks to the ingenuity of them all involved, Zoe and John in the Cooley Peninsula, and Elaine and Kenny in South Armagh, they were able to entirely complete their projects.
Well, we really had a brilliant time working with all the students as part of the project. It was just amazing. At the beginning, we got to visit all the schools and work with each school and work to their strengths, I suppose. The students were able to bring whatever instruments they were able to play with them. So there was guitars and fiddles, flutes and whistles, double bass, loads of different instruments, drums even, and a few singers. And that was really good fun, trying to encourage them to come up with their own ideas and their own compositions, and I suppose teaching them a little bit of our music and the music from this area, and trying to incorporate some of that into their new tunes. Then when COVID happened, it was all locked down and we weren't able to visit the schools anymore, and it was a bit of a tragedy because we felt this is such a lovely project and they've done so well, and the music they've created is really remarkable, especially some of the slower tunes. I absolutely love them, and a few lovely poems as well. So we were really trying whatever we could to get it back up and running, and we got in touch with all the principals, and we were able to engage with the students on Zoom and have lessons with them to teach them their parts and everything else. So we were able to kind of salvage the project. And what about the recording, John? Do you want to talk about how we did that?
Yeah, so it was really recorded over a number of weeks, and we kind of at home, we tried to set it up as much as possible to make it as easy for the students that they would have something to listen to. And we gave them guides and things that aren't audible in the final recording. So we tried to do that, and then we took the audio from their recordings and we mixed them together and try to polish it up for the end result.
Try and make it sound beautiful. And so John did all of the kind of audio, everything that you hear. John would have mixed all of that, which took a very long time, of course. And then Butterfly Man Productions put together all the videos. So all of the students and their mummies and daddies and everyone had to work very hard to send us videos and get them emailed over, which is actually not as easy as you would think. And then we were able to kind of compile it all together and make a beautiful video. So we're really proud of it.
My name is Kenny Quaw from Marketil, and alongside Elaine O'Sullivan from Mullabon, have been teaching these wonderful tunes from the Donlan collection to the young musicians of Marketil, Mullabon and Crossmaglen. Certainly with regards to the Marketil musicians, learning about this collection of tunes and about Luke Donlan himself has been something of a cultural awakening. We certainly are guilty of playing a safe known repertoire, but this experience has introduced something new, delightful material to be enjoyed and shared together. And while the cultural and musical impact of this project has been quite profound, the same can be said of the social and community cohesion it has brought, as young like-minded musicians and their families from differing communities form important connections and build friendships. We're grateful to Lawrence McKeown for organising this project and driving it forward under the challenging circumstances of COVID. Thanks to Elaine for her lovely arrangements and sharing her knowledge and skills and musicianship so well with us all. Thank you.
These young musicians have worked together before, but they really enjoyed this project because the music that they were learning they'd never heard before, the tunes that they were learning. Myself and Kenny Quaw had selected tunes from the Luke Donlan collection, which is a collection of tunes local to the area, and we taught the children the tunes, and then we let them select the 2 tunes that they wanted to do for the performance, and they had great fun working through Zoom, obviously in breakout rooms, working on harmonies, working on arrangements, and lovely to see friendships being rekindled again through the love of music. Just want to take this opportunity to thank the project coordinator Lawrence McKeown, Diversity Challenges, and to all of the funders for giving the young musicians from these 2 communities the chance to work together, to play music together, and to produce 2 lovely pieces of music that we will be able to pass on through the generations. Thank you.
The third and final element of the project, From Oriel to Brexit, was the theatre element, and it was a pleasure to once again be working with Paula McBetridge and Caboy's Theatre Company.
We were delighted to be part of the From Oriel to Brexit project because we had the chance to lead a series of workshops with transition students from Bush Post-Primary in Cooley. And these took place in the Creative Spark in Dundalk, which is an amazing community resource. And we did a series of drama workshops looking at the concepts of emigration, cultural identity, relationship with the border, how we feel post-Brexit, familial relationships, communication, and how these young people were considering themselves as active citizens going forward, both through education and through civil society. And out of that series of workshops, Lawrence McKeown then created an incredible play about the fragility of love, entitled Before You Go. Before You Go took place in a family unit, and it is the morning that their daughter is leaving to emigrate to Australia. And she finds out truths about her parents and about her family and about how she feels about herself as she moves on to the next stages of her life. Now, normally in a situation like this, we would be doing a play like that live in a range of theatres and like non-theatre spaces within the heart of communities. But because of current restrictions, we had to rehearse it online via COVID, or due to COVID, should I say. And we rehearsed on Zoom. A very different experience for us. But we learnt a lot in doing it, and then we installed the show in the old UTV studios on the Ormeau Avenue in Belfast.
Getting to work on a play during COVID was just like amazing. I mean, I think most people would give their right arm to do anything creative, especially after being starved of it for so long. But to be back in like a room, a Zoom room, virtual room with people and discussing a play and discussing the characters, discussing everything with like intelligent people that felt so much, cared so much about this play was just amazing, like really, really amazing. And I felt so like lucky and grateful, thankful that I had this amazing opportunity to do something during COVID. Yeah.
Fast. And we filmed the play, and then we streamed it over 3 performances, free because of funding, to a range of audiences. And over 1,600 devices connected with the show. Now that means there were probably at least 2 people watching on each of those devices. On top of that, we did post-show discussions. We did a public one at which 160 different individuals participated in the post-show discussion that lasted at least an hour. On top of that, we did some private post-show discussions for Shankill Women's Group, for young people in education at the University of Ulster, for others in Tyrone that are at the regional college there. And we also did one for a group of women in Kolkata in India who we at Kibosh are working with on social change projects. So the impact of Before You Go was quite incredible. And it reached a lot of new audiences because there were no barriers to access. Because it was a free experience, this made all the difference. We hope to revive the show for live performances at a later date, and we will continue going forward to offer workshops of different nature to Bush Post-Primary because they were such a delight to work with.
Darkness dwells where unsaid words reside. Untether your voice and let it rise. To feel and to be heard, that is your right. Emancipate your voice into the light. Let it flow and let it fly. Let it speak and let it cry. Hold back no more, the time is nigh. Hold back no more, the time is nigh. Fear will not again suppress your word. it speak and let it cry. Hold back no more, the time is nigh. Hold back no more, the time is nigh. Let it flow and let it fly. Let it speak and let it cry. Hold back no more, the time is nigh. Hold back no more, the time is nigh. Hold back no more, the time is nigh.
From Oriel to Brexit was only one of many projects funded under the EU Peace Programme in County Louth. Joan Martin is the Chief Executive of Louth County Council with responsibility for the rollout of the programme.
Hello there everybody. Louth County Council was awarded 3.5 million in 2017 to deliver a range of projects funded under the current EU Peace Programme. To date, 17 projects have been developed with that funding. However, COVID-19, as you can imagine, created massive challenges for the delivery of those projects. Massive challenges for the organisations and the individuals delivering them, for the participants engaged in them, and for the staff of Louth County Council who sought to assist project coordinators as they devised new means to deliver the projects. I am amazed, encouraged, and really very proud of how everyone across those various roles rose to the challenge and, despite all the difficulties encountered, delivered such wonderful outputs and in a can-do spirit. It is a credit to all involved. I want to thank Diversity Challenges and their partners and facilitators who delivered From Oriel to Brexit, using the arts to bring people together, cross-border, cross-community and across all ages. The outputs from the project show the immense talent we have on our doorstep. They also demonstrate how eager people and communities are to become involved in such projects and with such enthusiasm. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the staff of SEUPB who managed the peace funding. Their flexibility in light of the pandemic and their willingness to engage us and with the delivery partners to explore options to overcome the challenges faced has meant the successful delivery and conclusion of projects. In conclusion, I am delighted to contribute to this showcase, incorporating the highlights and achievements of From Oriel to Brexit. Well done to everyone, and thank you very much.
It's now May 2021 and we're just completing the project, not August 2020. Sometimes things just take longer than you expect. As with Joan, I'd like to thank all involved, the partners, facilitators, especially the participants, the staff of Louth County Council and SEUPB. It's always a pleasure working with others who are as committed to the projects and put in as much energy as yourself. So, Cormac of League, August Fan, Soldier.
Let it flow and let it fly. Let it speak and let it cry. Hold back no more, the time is nigh. Hold back no more, the time is nigh. Fear will not again suppress your words. Your voice no longer will remain unheard. That which binds you will no longer be. Liberate your voice, your spirit's free. Let it flow and let it fly. Let it speak.